What's up, guys? All right, we're chilling. We're chilling. We gotta tone it down with the nuke, with the fear mongering. It's actually gonna be a chill stream today. But I had to get you guys excited with nukes and explosions and everything's screwed and everything's going to shit. How are we doing in the chats? Good to see you guys. Pennies, Gazgano, David. Good to see you guys. Hope the music's okay. Hope the music's not too quiet or too loud. Let me get my treadmill up here. Man, it's been a good week off. Still been working hard, still doing the push-ups, still getting the cardio in, still handling all the operations, still cranking. Make sure you guys are subbed to the channel, click the bell, make sure you guys get all my live streams for the rest of the week. I'll be live streaming every day this week, and man, I'm happy to be back. I'm actually happy that I took the week off to let things kind of settle, because things were looking weird, right? Like in this boring triangle pattern, and finally things are happening, right? So I can come back and there's actually things happening. This is awesome. How is the music? It's really quiet for me, but I hope it's okay for you guys. So what happened while I was gone? Oh boy, a lot of stuff happened while I was gone. So first of all, we had two failed swing longs out of the gulag, and that obviously plunges back into the gulag. And so look where we came down to. We came down to the push-up line. And if we zoom in on the smaller time frames, we can actually see the interaction on this VWAP. It was a perfect catch. It was a perfect catch on that yellow line. We came back up, and obviously we're under these bearish sentiments, right? So we had the March anchor from the Twitter hype, the orange line, that was now resistance, as well as the April anchor, now resistance. We get a big short off that. Where do we go to? We actually hit the year-to-date anchor. We didn't hit it. We hit the range, though. It was so convincing the other day that we might hit the range, and it was looking so like wiki here, that I made a long-term Bitcoin purchase just because of the things that I've said about VWAPs over the last couple months, how institutions trade them, is like institutions like to buy at or under the VWAP, right? And so if you have something like the year-to-date anchored VWAP, something from the start of the year, this purple line here, and we come down to it, I didn't want to take the chance of this being the bottom, and I missed it, you know what I'm saying? And so I made a decent long-term hodl Bitcoin purchase here, like, you know, nothing extremely crazy, but I made sure to buy some Bitcoin, like what I considered at the year-to-date VWAP. And there's nothing that happens from this point forward that's going to make me feel bad about that, because I got it at the year-to-date anchor. I consider that a fair price. And we did get a bounce. So on the 65-minute, we bounced up, and it's crazy how, you know, finally the poop line is getting the respect it deserves. We hadn't gotten the test of the poop line, even though it seemed like it had come from this extremely important technical level. It was this like bottom after the ETF drawdown, which happened to be a perfect tap of the previous quarter's anchor. So if you look at this green line here, this is from October 1st of 2023. And so we rode from this 2023 Q4 anchor, and then as soon as Q1 of 2024 began, we tried to run from it, but we quickly fell down, and where did we come to? We came to the previous quarter for some support. And so if we were to repeat this scenario, then that's why I bought some Bitcoin at this purple region, is because we had a new quarter, which is the red anchor right here. April 1st is the start of Q2 of 2024. And so it would make sense that right at the start of Q2 of 2024, we would have to dump down to Q1 of 2024, which currently is our year-to-date anchor. So, yeah, I mean, I think this is a good buy. And, you know, I gave you guys this line a month ago, back when we were over here, like at this point, things were still very hypey, and I put out a video that I've let stew I haven't flooded you guys with extra information just to give you some oatmeal to digest every day. I put a video out and I let it stew on my channel for a month. I said these are the levels that I want you guys to look at, and I put all these anchored VWAPs up. And at some point or another in the last month, these lines have all played out and they've all had a part to play in the story of what's going on. So yeah, the year to date, if I am to stick by my word of when I put that video out a month ago, this was a good buying opportunity. And I know that, things are tough. Like, the narrative is like, there's a lot of people that are bearish, right? There's a lot of people that are saying that we're going to capitulate down to 40K, 35K, all this shit. But yeah, it's like, if I'm a man of my word, a month ago, I was telling myself that if we came down to the year to date, that would have been a godsend, right? Because it's like an institutional buying zone. And we did get a bit of we got a pretty good long off that too. This wick was pretty good. We got an 11% pump off that. The only issue is that we're still in the gulag, right? We're still under. Now we're under the push-up line. It looks like we're getting some traction on the poop line. Got like a 1, 2, 3 tap of support on the poop line. Just on the 65 minute, I actually see momentum scooping up a little bit here, but is it swing long kind of shit? Maybe if you caught the bottom wick like a G or something, but this is kind of scalpy to me. This is scalp. If you're gonna long, it's a scalp long, and then some shit's gonna get hairy real quickly on your ass up here in the like the high 60s. And we're probably, honestly, I don't think this has to be over. Like, we didn't actually touch the year to date, and so, like, just being responsible, it's possible that we have to dredge down deeper into the year to date, or perhaps overextend, or in a worst case scenario, institutions love to buy at or below VWAP, right? And so if we push this, if institutions can dump this shit down and we get some sort of like inverted head and shoulders, like under the VWAP, like something like that, like some sort of pattern that's like trying to fight back above the year to date, but the year to date becomes resistance for an extended period of time. This would be a period in the markets where institutions are likely buying on your, while you're all panic selling and thinking this is going to go lower. They would be buying on your ass. And so, yeah, there could be like a snaking type of like this kind of movement going on, but ultimately I believe that institutions, what other indicators are they using, guys? They're using tools such as VWAP, and they use the year-to-date anchors, you know what I'm saying? So, this could actually break. We want to see strength after the year-to-date anchor before we even think about major swing long in. Like, we'd have to overcome these bearish anchors overhead before we started thinking about that shit. And that would signify strength after the dip of the year to date. So it's still possible, guys. It's still possible that we do we smash through the year to date in a bearish fashion, and we kind of cling to life on it. And people would definitely be calling for lower, and we'd be having to deal with people fudding crypto, talking shit, people capitulating and all this shit, totally forgetting that we have the halvening and the inflows and the ETFs and all the good shit that is coming for us. It has come to us this year. But just know that the year to date is an institutional macro line that they're looking at, and like, they sell above or at, and they buy at or below. And so if we did have to come down below, there'd be a lot of panic, but just know that that's when you're getting eaten back up. That's when the institutions are buying your fear. If we did slip and crapola down below that purple anchor there, if we even go there, there's actually not even proof. There's not really much proof yet, just off the chart here, that we have to go lower. It's just that we have bearish sentiments overhead, and we didn't actually touch the year to date. So, it's It's possible. All I can tell you guys is we got some key levels here to work with. There's a big short potentially up here like 67 if we can go up there. It looks like we are holding some support on the poop line. We do kind of want to go up from the 65-minute perspective. But ultimately, we are in the gulag, and this could actually have another leg down. We could have to deal with this downtrend. So that's my take, guys, is like, it could certainly get worse, but we're approaching that point where it's like institutional buying time, and the panic has gotten a little out of hand. I think that people saying that the bull market's over, it's a little too early to say. Let's check the weekly. Weekly momentum, finally we had that weekly close, and we did come down. Ooh, man, it's right on the line, man. It's right on the line. You know, one more shitty week, and this could cross below, and that would be messed up. I don't like to see that weekly momentum cross below the 60 line. That would be concerning. In fact, I would have to, if we did cross below that 60 line, I would be very, very cautious about Bitcoin holding on to it until we came back over, until we saw some sort of strength over the 60 line on the weekly. Not gonna lie, guys. So we certainly are at like a last line of defense here for the market. That being said, we're over the year to date still. And so, you know, I'm not going to count any chickens before they hatch. I'm just gonna wait. If we do get a confirmed weekly close under the 60 line, then the environment has changed indeed, and I'll be the first one to let you guys know. Let's see here, reading the chats real quick, getting caught up. Otter Gang, shout out to the Otter Gang. Good to see you, Alex O'Crypto. Thanks for all the hard work you do, man. What am I drinking? I got some creatine for my muscles, and I got my pencil neck coffee mug that's like limited edition, no longer in stock. And I got my pencil neck turkey shirt here because of all the pencil necks that we've been dealing with lately. Tons and tons of pencil necks. People saying, see bro, it's going to, you know, it's like these people are rubbing it in your face when they really had no idea what was going to happen. But yeah, this is you know, a lot of jitters, a lot of like, I love that word jitters, man. When the jitters get shaken out, it's almost like you can only go up once the jitters get shaken out. The markets have been concerned about war shit going on. But the reality is that we've been in perpetual war for decades, and even in just this presidency, it's like we've been in World War III for the last 3 years. So, you know, when that news came out, I was actually shocked that so many people are so panicky. I thought that we were on to the game that these people play. I don't understand the fear mongering going on and how it's actually working. What's up, Geo? Man, my week off was awesome, dude. It was I mean, still working hard, you know what I mean? But I really enjoyed it. I was following up, and I had my ear to the market still looking at the charts every day, but just watching how things unfolded. I'm glad I took the week off because it gave me a week to really absorb, you know, what I think and what NickCipher is saying. I think we definitely did get the first, either this was the institutional buy or the first of many, but this is the first wick of institutions buying the people who get wrecked up here, right? And so whether we have to ebb and flow around the year to date and it's a steady guide for the price action, or we just bounce off of it, Geo, I think that we got the first institutional kind of buying point, because from that perspective, you want to buy the asset at or below, right? And so any buys at or below the year-to-date anchor in an overall uptrend, which Bitcoin is in, is going to be a good deal. So we finally got a good deal on some Bitcoin. Basically, this shit way up here was all overpriced garbage, and we finally got a tap on the year to date or the previous quarter. They happen to be the same thing. Quarter one is important because after quarter one's over, that VWAP still remains and continues to go on, and it's the year to date as well. And so just to show you guys, last quarter we had the open of Q1 of 2024, right? And we did want to go up, but then we came down. And where did we come down to? We came down to the previous quarter's anchored VWAP. So we came down to the Q4 of 2023. And so if it's just a repeating playbook and institutions are actually using this indicator, the anchored VWAP, to plan their moves, this actually could be the institutional bottom. We are seeing the fear and the shakeout and the people freaking out, and people were so over leveraged that there is a chance that this actually is a bottom. It's just there's so many possibilities around how the price action can play around an anchored VWAP that I can't just sit here and call a bottom, because that's not what NickCipher's saying. That's not necessarily what this anchor is saying. That's just a possibility. It's only a possibility. You can't even really make that call until we're like over the bear sentiments and swing long again. We'd have to like get out of the gulag and be swing long again before that can even be said, and it would be like in hindsight. But I'm just telling you guys, like last quarter we had to dump down to the previous quarter, and then it was a moonshot from there. And so the fact that we touched or tried to touch on the previous quarter's anchor suggests that if it's that simple, if they're really just using year to date anchors, then we could see more of a bounce here, perhaps like a high going higher before going lower or some shit like that. And I spoiled myself when I got some pizza today. So the Beamer's getting wrapped. The Beamer, I took it into the shop, and we're getting it wrapped burnt orange. It's going to be like a really nice, pretty burnt Bitcoin orange. I think I'm going to get a Bitcoin license plate, and I hope this shit dumps, and I hope everyone laughs at me on the street, because I still believe in Bitcoin. I'm still orange pilled at AF, and I got to do my push-ups every day, so I'm stuck. I'm stuck doing this shit. You guys know no matter what happens, I'm here for the Bitcoin for you guys, right? You guys know I love you. You guys know I love Bitcoin and you guys no matter what, right? Let me see some hearts in the chat. I don't even want you to like the stream. I want you to love me. You know, even if Bitcoin dumped to 30K and Geo is right, I will still do push-ups, and I'll be the last person to complain. Isn't that funny? Hey, you got all these over-leveraged dweebs and geeks all crying, and yet the one guy who's actually has to do push-ups until we get to 100K, there's not a single tear rolling down his face. How come you don't see me crying if I'm the one who has to bleed and sweat? I'm bleeding and sweating for the blockchain every day. Something about my mentality, man. You got to have my mentality to get through these markets. The mentality I got from sponsoring the ultimate Giga Chad himself, Michael Perry. And so make sure that you guys get the BKFC app and check this fight out on April 27th. This is going to be a nice, stacked, juicy card of ferocious fighters. We got Julian Lane, let me bang, bro. We got Rothwell, Big Ben Rothwell, who's got the same manager as Mike, so he's a good bet too. And Thiago Alves, man, he's like 40 years old. Does that guy look 40 years old to you guys? That guy doesn't look 40 to me. He doesn't look a year over 36. But yeah, so Man, a lot of people are calling like way more down, right? And we're also about to lose the weekly. So this is looking objectively little barely too early to call, but like another week or two of shit. And this is gone to shit until we reclaim the 60 line. We would have lost my edge. My edge is up only, right? FG is only a good trader and a good investor when the Bitcoin markets are going straight up. It was like, you know, during the BitConnect era, that was when I was new to trading, and I made plenty of mistakes. And it wasn't until the ETH bull run of 2020 and 2021, this is when FG established his career right in here, and look what the price was doing. It was just going straight up. So, man, here I am again, thinking, you know, dang, I'm gonna do it again, boys and girls, and we're about to lose this. It seems like we're about to lose this, and so that puts me into a more cautious mode as an investor and a trader, knowing that the market is going to enter a phase where it's not simply just gonna go up only. You got to change your strategy a little bit, change your expectations if this does cross below the 60 line. All of a sudden, Geo's hyper bearishness doesn't sound so crazy, right? All of a sudden, people start getting wrecked, and people start getting a little more careful with their leverage. Oh, all of a sudden, you guys all want to use super high leverage when we're way up here. You guys are the reason the market came down, because you guys are trying to squeeze a gallon of orange juice out of a kumquat. That's all you got left is a little kumquat, and you're trying to feed a whole restaurant with orange juice. There's just not that much juice in this. There's not so much juice to squeeze, man. Man, that would be so funny. That would be so funny if the year to date did hold and this thing just turned up and we got a green dot. But I'm just praying for that, right? That's probably not going to happen, but who knows? It might. But honestly, until we break over like the April anchor, like this red line right here, I'm not a bull tard, right? And until we slip under the year to date, I'm not really a bear either. I can just kind of sit between the poop line in the push-up line and just kind of laugh at both sides. I guess that's where I'm at right now. I'm just a market observer, man. I'm just a market observer. I'm just looking at the people saying it's going to 100K, thinking, man, you're going to get wrecked as soon as we get up into the high 60s. And then the people who are screaming for 40K, I mean, what the fuck are you talking about 40K, man? 40K, you would have to not only crash through the year to date, which is like the strongest institutional buying line of volume weighted support of the year, but you'd have to dump all the way down to the previous quarter's anchored VWAP. You'd have to dump down to the people who were holding the markets up back in October 1st of 23, all the way at the bottom. Where was that? Over here, down here. So maybe it is possible that we, get a tap of that anchor, because we did get one before. So maybe it is like the magic line. But for now, we still got the year to date below us. Mic volume, turn the mic volume up. Oh, shoot. Okay, hopefully that's better. Testing. Testing. Hopefully that's better. Trader Geo says if Bitcoin hits anywhere in the 30s, I will do 30,000 push-ups. That's really not that many. I wonder how many I've done. I'm on day 64 now. Dang, so I've done like 6,400 push-ups, right? That's crazy. That's crazy. I've done a lot of push-ups. Man, this shit would have been dumping harder if not for me and my boy Riley and all the good soldiers who joined in as long as they could, and then died in battle from the stress, from the PTSD of holding up the price with their shoulders. That's why my icon is the dude. He's like Atlas holding the world up, because like I feel like I'm holding up the price of Bitcoin on my shoulders, man. It's like an exercise in supreme psychotic accountability. You know, it's like there's so many things in life that we don't have control over, right? But what if you just pretended like you did? I get that it like makes no sense, and you live in fantasy land, but practicing supreme godlike accountability and just take the blame for everything, man. Whatever, anything that happens, it's your fault, good or bad. And if you think like that, you actually feel quite powerful. Bitcoin Slut says, music? Isn't there music playing? Isn't this music? Can't you hear the music? All right, let's take a look at the stock market. So we got a couple quarterly anchors here. We got the year to date, which started over here. We got the April one. Man, I'm tripping, man. I'll turn this music up, but I hope it's not too loud. I hope this isn't too loud. But I mean, I'm trying to chill, man. I'm trying to undo the trauma of nukes going off in my psychology. You guys just got crypto nuked. You guys are thinking about bombs and rockets and people dying, and the price is reflecting that. So I was trying to, I'm just trying to calm everybody down a little bit, because you guys, it's okay to be emotional, but you have to trade based on a system, and you got to understand your emotions. So the market is very emotional, but the reality is that we still got the year to date below us in the stock market and on Bitcoin. And so yes, the stock market is very divergent, and the everything bubble is upon us. But has the yield curve uninverted yet? No. Does this have to be the moment where everything crashes? It's almost like we wish it was, right? We actually are thinking like maybe it could be, or it could have been. But this correction doesn't actually have to be the correction. Does that make sense? Once the war jitters get shaken out, who knows what this price can do? Who knows? So I'm looking at the S&P right now. We still have the year to date. From a year to date standpoint, just from the perspective of 2024, this is a blessing. The S&P's on sale right now. But it's hard to say whether we'd have to look at this interaction, and we want to see some strength on it. We can't even make a call on it yet, because it could just go down lower. I can't really make an inference either way for you guys. I can only say like what I see right now, which is that obviously this quarter has been bearish, but so far it seems like a blessing, because right now we're just kind of at our year to date discount. So this could come down a little bit lower to about 5,000, and we'd have to just see. We'd have to wait and see. But what I do see is like a massive momentum desert on the daily. And so to get a wave down here, I don't really know how bad it has to be. It looks hella divergent for sure. And the RSIs need to cool off a lot, right? We want to see those RSIs come below 12 and then scoop back up. And so there's a lot of cooking that needs to be done for sure. For sure. Right? It's not really like a safe point to just go long on the stock market, but we're approaching that level where, from a volume weighted standpoint, from a 2024 perspective, this is actually where we wanted it to go. This is like that price that we wished it could have gone when we wanted it to go here for good prices, but it's kind of, we were forced here at a time when we didn't want it to go down to this point, and so now we're salty or whatever. But the truth is that these uptrends in the S&P get broken regularly. You can see we had an uptrend here, and that got broken. We had a little wick below it. You know, it happens in the past where you have an uptrend and it gets broken and then gets eaten back up. So I think there's a lot of people that I've seen like throughout the week getting hyper bearish on the S&P in the stock market, but actually, like, wartime is good for stocks. It's a money printing fantasy land, and once the jitters, once we recognize that the world is going to be okay and we're not all getting nuked, then, you know, we allow the bull market to continue. You know, and if we all get nuked, well, then who gives a shit about the market, right? Who gives a shit? Honestly, money's the last thing that we want to be worried about when the nukes go off. When the nukes go off, we gotta just be with our families, man, and praying. Why no Heiken-Nishi candles? I like to use the regular candles with my anchored VWAP tool, because the anchored VWAP bases where it generates based on the OHLC4, which is the open, the high, the low, and the close divided by 4. So since the Heiken-Nishi like starts every candle at the midpoint of the previous, I want exact data for the generation of my VWAPs. That being said, Heiken-Nishis are great for swing trading. They're great for trend analysis, especially on those big time frames. But what do they come at the sacrifice of? You got to be aware of what you're sacrificing with Heiken-Nishis. You're sacrificing precision and exactitude, which doesn't matter as much on the environmental or planning time frames. But once you get down into the scalp time frames, like the 30-minute and below per se, the Heiken-Nishis can actually affect like the order making process, you know. So if you're actually placing an order, if you're like, where do I place an order, where do I take profit, and you're looking at Heiken-Nishis, you're gonna have a hard time, man. You're gonna have a hard time. But there's really few downsides to them on the planning time frames, like the hourlies, and the environmental time frames, such as the dailies and weeklies. Unless like you're just using indicators that kind of rely on like exact candle data. Hopefully that explains the Heiken-Nishi thing. Tommy Luck, am I a prepper? Honestly, man, I've been learning a lot from men like Jason Casper, but I'm not where I need to be with my autonomy, man. In many ways, still chewing through a lot of deep feelings of macro insecurity as a man, if that makes sense. You know, like as a man, you got to think of everything, man. You got to be rich and strong and funny and all these things, and like just have all these bases covered. And you may feel like you have it all covered, and then you're like, oh, I don't have my own bomb shelter. Oh my God, I'm such a bitch. I'm so weak. I was missing the one thing. I should have just been a pencil neck with a bomb shelter. What am I going to the gym for? Man, it's good to see you guys in here. Let's take a look at the ETH BTC trend. Oof, man. I will let you guys know when ETH starts trending on Bitcoin. And when ETH starts trending on Bitcoin, it'll be glorious because ETH has ETFs coming. Not only that, there's projects on ETH's chain that will likely start trending on ETH. And so ETH trending on Bitcoin isn't just ETH trending on Bitcoin. It's like all these other things trending on ETH, which is also trending on Bitcoin, which means you're not looking at 2 and 3x gains. You're looking at like 6 to 10x gains if you can trade these, if you can swap correctly and get out in time on some of these pairs. I'm not really sure what the winners will be, but I got a feeling like when this does start trending up, it's going to be a different group of winners. I feel like Solana actually held up pretty good. We violated its year to date. We're at the bottom of the gulag. RSI still got to cool off. It is nice that we're coming down, and it looks like we're getting another fresh, you know, exploration down at the bottoms of the oversold levels of the RSI for Solana and a lot of coins. This is what we want to see. We want to see us kind of hit under 12 on the RSIs, kind of stay down there for a bit, and then when they come over 12, you got a fresh long opportunity there on the daily, from a daily standpoint. But who knows, man? Who knows if Solana saw the majority of the excitement and it's over, you know? I mean, Solana got all this money pumped into it, and what did they do with it? They made all these racist coins and stupid projects and all this dumb shit. And there's a lot of coins that haven't gotten their day in the sun. I mean, look at shitter Cardano. I mean, look at Cardano didn't even get close. Like, look at what Solana. So Solana got really close to where it was in 2021, but Cardano didn't even get close, man. Cardano's just been struggling, man. So not all coins are created equal, bro. This is how does Bitcoin get all the way up and create an all-time high, and then Cardano is just sitting here down like, what the hell, man? Like, why does everyone forget about me? So, you know, it's like, do we short Cardano to zero? Actually, Cardano on the macros, I don't know, I see the money flow kind of trending up on the daily. I don't know. I'm gonna keep looking at Cardano. Nothing yet. But there just might be like another altcoin narrative coming. Like, look at crypto.com, man. Like, this shit did not go anywhere close to where it was before. I feel like also like this war news hit the altcoins super hard, just like the smallest amount of fear. It's because of that Bitcoin dominance. Look at that Bitcoin dominance that shot up there. Money flow still looking strong on the Bitcoin dominance. RSI still up there, looking a little divergent, but we just reclaimed a big weekly. Is this a 200? That's a 200 candle moving average on the weekly. So you got a 200 week moving average that we just came over on Bitcoin dominance with a golden retrace at 60%. So maybe we're shooting for 60% Bitcoin dominance. I'm not sure. Good night, Geo, man. Thanks for popping in, bro. Looking at the Dixie, the dollar. Dollar pumping. Dollar is pumping. RSI's in ascent. Big uptrend in the red money flow. Momentum wave still trending to the upside. Yeah, man, the dollar is king, man. The dollar is king. If things do gotta dump more, it makes sense. You pump all these dollars, dollar strong, buy all the assets, leave the gropers in the dust. Leave the gropers in the dust. I'm not the best at reading the Dixie, but I'll be keeping an eye on that too. Manbear Pig says 55K real fast. That's what he's thinking. You think, you know, that would probably spell the death of the weekly blue wave if we were to get a move like that. We would get some violation under the year-to-date anchor. I'd have to see it to believe it, man. I'd have to see it, believe it. Feel free to take that short, but there's a lot of strong supports below us for now. That year-to-date at 59 is some strong support. Right now, I think it's more boring than people think. I think that's likely we're going to have to be playing around between the year-to-date and the bearish sentiments for another long while. And we're in scalp mode. Let's take a look at the monthly. Monthly, you got the VWAPs. Let's see. On the monthly, it looks like the RSI kind of just got started up here. The blue wave looking like it wants to pinch down, but nothing confirmed as of yet. Still over the 60 line, and so still very much in play with runaway train status. Hard to count out just yet. But the yellow oscillator is kind of aiming down, a little bit divergent, aiming down, looking to cross zero. So yeah, a little bit concerning, but it's hard to say, man. We're only halfway through April. This is something that is so slow moving and so lagging, but April's close will mean a lot. Like if it's a really shitty close, that means that May is probably a bad month too. And you got like that sell in May, walk away kind of deal going on. But if April is amazing, these oscillators change. So we've got 2 weeks before. I don't really want to look at a monthly chart halfway through the month, if that makes sense. The 2 week though, we just got that cross down on the VWAP and the red dot. So even though we are above the 60 line, runaway train, and we're riding 88. We're riding 88's balls here. It really is the bottom. We're on the line, man. It really is on the line. And so I think maybe the next week will be telling for us. The next week will be telling. My take on the halving is that it is moderately bullish, but that it's obviously not as big of a deal as it used to be in the past, right? Like, it is objectively reducing the amount of Bitcoins that miners can sell, like new supply coming in. So it's, if you reduce new supply and the demand remains the same, then price should in theory go up. It's just, it's such a small amount nowadays, and we see it coming from so far in advance that you guys got to understand that I feel like the ETF is like a bigger thing than the halving, you know, or the halving or whatever you call it. So while the halving is psychologically in our mind, we know that we got to put twice as much work in if we want to get twice the result, or even just the same result. It enforces gratitude, it spurs energy innovation, but the actual price economics behind it is just like less of a factor than it's ever been in the past. So it's more in our head than in the numbers. So let's see what Coin Telegram is saying here. Cardano's no longer the 9th largest crypto. That makes sense. That chart looks like shit. But who knows? Maybe Cardano's time is coming. Maybe its alt season is coming. Maybe Solana blew its juice, and the lesser loved alts will get their time in the sun. Who knows, man? This is kind of boring. We'll have to look at some meme coins during this stream too, for sure. And make sure you guys check out BKFC Knuckle Mania 4, April 27 with Mike Perry and Tiago Alves. Got our boy Ben Rothwell and many other good faces. We got blood in the markets, we got blood in the ring, We got World War III. Why are we so brutal, man? Why is society becoming so brutal? Why are we so harsh to one another, man? Don't we have it better than any other time in history? So why are we a bunch of sickos? How come it's like Roman gladiator arena? Why are we so warmongery and so bloodthirsty and so sick? What's happened to us, man? We haven't changed a bit. People say we're civilized now. We're not civilized. Yup, bankers love wars. They can print a bunch of money, control the markets with fear, buy everything back up, pump the war stocks. I bet Raytheon and, man, I gotta polish up on my war stock knowledge, man. Like Raytheon and shit. I bet that's gonna pump. Man, oh man. But it's just perpetual war. Like we've been pumping, and the stock market's been pumping because we've been in war. It's great for the market. That's what the everything bubble is. We've just been in one endless. Look. What do you think you've been eating? What do you think you've been eating? It's the blood of the innocents right here. And you know, markets are spiritual. The market's price doesn't forget the truth. And there is a reckoning coming. There is for certain a reckoning is coming. Perhaps when these yield curves, perhaps when we cross zero here at some point this year, maybe in Q3 or Q4 or something, maybe the next president is saddled with the worst economic crisis since the 2008 housing crisis or something. Look back here, and when we crossed zero, that was the 2008 crisis, and then in the year 2000 it happened there too. But I'm not an expert on geopolitics, guys. You have to talk to Trader Geo for that. He's the expert on geopolitics. It sure as hell isn't BitBoy. So I'm gonna just refrain from saying anything that I'm not a master of, you know? I have a narrow-minded, peanut brain I'm like a bug, bro. I'm only good at one thing, man. Reading the charts, reading my market cipher with my VWAPs, and talking to you guys. I'm just a creature of love. That's all I know how to do. I just know how to eat and snuggle and read the charts and love. That's all I was made for. And do push-ups. Anything you guys want me to look at right now while I'm here? We got, let's look at some memes. Holy man, the Pepe. Look at that Pepe. Oh my gosh, what was the percent dump on that? Pepe's seen a 64% crash. That's gnarly. We're actually like retesting this old high over here. Oh man, you know, this goes to show, like, this seems like, I mean, who knows if this has to keep going down lower, but imagine if this was, the year to date is like our institutional bottom. I feel like the meme coins just had a fire sale. But I don't know, but that's just my feeling. That's just how FG feels. I have a feeling like things are really cheap right now, but I would have to see some strength after the dip. So hopefully, like, as this week progresses or as the weeks progress, we get more information, because it's still very fresh. Like the market's just opened and all that stuff. Crazy sale on the peppies, and the whiffs, and the flokies. Look at that weekly just crossing under the 60. These shit coins are crossing under the 60 line. Not looking too good, man. Not looking good. But and like the retail trader looks at that and they think it's bad, you know what I mean? But it is on sale. And so if we can get some strength, if we can see some strength somewhere, you know, it is cheaper. If you're playing that long game like the institutions are, they buy red and they sell green. So you got to just measure your breaths. We're in those icy cold waters and the Titanic sinking. You can't use all your breath all at once. The lifeboats are coming. It's just, are you going to make it in time? Are you the main character? Or are you over leveraged and overexposed? Man, and I got no car for the next 4 days too, man. The car's getting wrapped. I'm gonna have my Bitcoin orange Beamer, because I had to take some spiritual profit. I didn't think when I made the decision to get the wrap, I was thinking, do I get a whole new car? Do I get like an orange Porsche and like become FG risk manager and make a music video and just be big pimping? And I said, nah, I'm not gonna accept a top in my investing career like that. I'm gonna keep it low key. I'm just gonna get the Beamer wrapped, the same car that I love that got me through the bear market, that's only got 30K miles on it. I'm gonna just get it wrapped so I feel good riding it. I'm gonna keep working on my body, keep building Bitcoin in cash position. That's what I would recommend that you guys do, is don't quit your jobs and like try to get into trading Bitcoin. Just keep doing everything, keep working hard, accumulate Bitcoin and cash. Bitcoin and cash. Until ETH starts trending on Bitcoin, and then we can talk about, once ETH starts trending on Bitcoin here, then we'll be thinking about, I'll be thinking about rearranging my portfolio a bit. Right now my portfolio is like more than half Bitcoin. And just working my ass off to get as much USD on the side, getting some capital. I like looking at the Dixie. It's looking like there's a possibility that we get some cash is king narrative for a while. So yeah, you want cash too. I get that we have this narrative in the crypto space that cash is evil, but what are you gonna buy all the cheap assets with when if shit does hit the fan? Make sure you're being industrious in accumulating cash and Bitcoin. It's not the time to be lazy, it's the time to be working extra hard. Yeah, let's take a look at the ETH chart. Let's take a look at the ETH chart. ETH's weekly has crossed below the 60. If we do close down here, devastating sign on yeah, for the next couple weeks. I don't like that. That's for certain a sign of perhaps ETH going lower. That's why, you know, just because we see the chart looking bottomed out like this ETH BTC trend here, you know, you do see like what looks like some divergence, right? We see the price coming down, the oscillator looking like might be coming up, but that's why I love the VWAPs, because they're telling us like the level that it would have to reclaim before you kind of went swing long on this shit again. You know, like we're kind of in the doldrums, in hell, in prison, until we overcome the last couple quarters of anchored VWAPs on this ETH BTC chart. So ETH is just not looking hot right now. It's got a lot of things going against it, but it does have some promising things potentially coming forward in the future. So it's something I'm looking at. It's just we have the tools to gauge when it is looking stronger before it gets too strong. It won't be like up here when I tell you guys, oh, buy a bunch of ETH when we're already at the top. You know what I mean? It'll be somewhere around up here. When we get up there, things will look better, and I might consider swapping around some Bitcoin for ETH. Because this cycle I'm very Bitcoin heavy, but last bull cycle I was ETH heavy. I was like 50% ETH, 20% Bitcoin. Now I'm like the other way around. I'm like 50% Bitcoin, 20% ETH. 4 hour looks like a head and shoulders. Let's see. Oh, this is the ETH BTC. One sec. I see what you mean, man. You see like a left shoulder, a right a head, and then a right shoulder potential. Yeah, I mean, that is true. That is true. And we do see this kind of down channel, bull flag looking thing. So something could happen, bro, but we would have to see that actually come up and confirm your right shoulder. And it looks a little gnarly to me. I don't really like blind pattern trading. Yeah, not much there, man. I would have liked to see these RSIs come down lower too. We haven't really dug out under 12 and actually come back above 12 like we did back here. Something like over here would be a nice signal for some hope in the future on the 4 hour. We're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. So I wouldn't be catching the knife on ETH quite yet. But I like how you think. I like how you think. We're frothing at the mouth. We want ETH to come back. You know? Yeah, looking at ETH, we violated its year-to-date anchor. Still contending with it though. So, yeah, it's hard to trust either way right now on this. Want to see how the price actually responds around this critical institutional volume-weighted support and resistance. But there is a lot of institutional volume at this point, and we have to see there's some institutional dirty work being done right now. What are they going to do with us? Are they going to... Is this the opportunity? Did they flush out the jitters? And does the stock market and crypto pump from here? We'd have to see. Just a little more strength after the dip would be nice. But also, if we had to come down and the year to date became a steady guide and we just simply had to snake around like this, like I believe that the institutions, while you're all panicking and freaking out and think ETH is going to zero, this is precisely when they're buying. They're buying at or below the year-to-date anchor. So make sure you're thinking like that. Remember that these assets are cheap right now. Objectively speaking, Bitcoin, when it hits 58K, that's a fire sale. If we do come lower, well, that's cool. That's even better. But yeah, at or below the year to date is some cheap Bitcoin. That's my take. Let's see. What else can we talk about? What else is going on, man? I had a couple things in my mind. I don't know, did I cover everything, man? Did I cover everything I wanted to talk about? Oh yes. Okay, so I got my ID, and I hate when people ask about it or talk about it, but just for the transparency, I got my residency ID, and I got approved. Not on Mexi, but on Bybit. So The moment, I'm not in a rush to get in any trades as of yet. Not in a rush. Just like CF said, like, it's always when you don't want to trade at all, that's when the trades start speaking to you. But if something speaks to me, then we are empowered to, I'm empowered to enter trades again. Legally speaking, finally. So that was some good news for me. I'm back plugged in a moralistic fashion on the exchange that I want to trade on, and I'm plugged into the matrix again. So that was a big milestone for me, getting plugged back in, getting back in the trenches, stepping from investor, educator, company manager, back in to the space, the mind space of a trader using leverage. That was a big step for me. So yeah, we'll see how I do in the coming months. And if you join my VIP, I'll be posting anything that I got cooking, whether it's TA. Most of what I do is just TA, what I think Bitcoin and the crypto markets are doing. But if you want to join my VIP, just check my description out. Shoot me a little email, and we'll get on the phone for 2 hours. We'll talk about your trading history, how you got into this shit. We'll polish up your strategy and your knowledge of the indicators, and I'll get you in my VIP for life. Plus, you get a course on how to read these VWAPs. Not just the anchored VWAPs, but I got a lot of videos on the NickCipher SR intraday. So I could teach you how to catch little plays every day using the intraday VWAP. And if you're interested in NickCipher, go ahead and go to NickCipher.com. I got an affiliate link in my YouTube description. And go ahead and check that out. You can use code LIGHTNING for 20% off. Check out all the stuff we got there. Tell them FG sent you. And yeah, we got tutorial videos. Got some good videos there. As for YouTubes, if you're new to the space, make sure that you follow, first of all, CryptoFace. You follow my older brother. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Make sure you follow Jason Casper. Absolute legend, revolutionized finance and fitness in the NickCipher space. The lord of finding juicy positions and trading in all sorts of directions all at once. Make sure you follow Trader Geo. He popped into the chat, that was nice of him. Trader Geo is one of our newer influencers. He's a good trader. Got a bearish attitude, and he's just got attitude in general. So you love him or you hate him, but he's a part of the family. Make sure you follow Alex O'Crypto. Alex O'Crypto has a free trading group where he provides free trade positions. And so if you're new and you're and you need to learn how to put down positions, he's a good person to follow. Gives you a lot of information, teaches you how to read NickCipher's waves and lay down positions for free. So Alex O'Crypto, true man for others in the space. If you're sick of crypto after all the shenanigans, you could always follow TP Mint. TP Mint with Dr. Slater and the gang. They trade Forex. They use mechanical strategy step by step. They get you in their group. They get you out. And they get their 1% each day, and they call it a day. And just very low key and just on their stuff. Who else we got? A couple other influencers I like. AJ Writes Crypto. Still got to do my interview with AJ, but he's BitBoy's writer or ex-writer, I can't remember. Good with his altcoins. He's out there traveling. He's got a good team with him. Good dude. Who else do I like? If you want to follow a really long-term, if you want someone who's hyper bullish, you got to follow Crypto Zombie. I always recommend Crypto Zombie because, first of all, I know Crypto Zombie personally, met him in Vegas, and I just like the guy. He's my friend. But I also just love his bullish. He just has so many bullish charts and bullish data that he whips out to get you feeling hopeful about Bitcoin. So if you're ever feeling depressed about Bitcoin, go follow Crypto Zombie, my boy here. And yeah, guys, that's about it for my shout outs and everything. Thanks for tuning in to the Nuke Party. And once again, make sure you check out the BKFC event. It's a new sport, and this is not the B tier team of UFC coming into this shit. This is its own sport, and it's more fun to watch than UFC, in my opinion. And these events are a blast to go to, man. Absolute blast. So catch the bloody battle, catch the blood on the charts, and you guys have a good one. Thanks for tuning in.